Hello everyone, my name is Young, and I'll be talking about the dangers of law enforcement officers. Alright, so law enforcement fatalities have been growing since 2010, and every year, officers respond to about 60 million calls, with each of them having a chance to become deadly. It's unavoidable that some of these interactions will be with a criminal, and the increase in deaths has risen 55% from 2020 to 2021. Being a law enforcement officer is one of the most dangerous occupations. Society needs law enforcement officers to protect the city from potential dangers and chaos. The first topic we'll be talking about is firearm availability. There are about 41% of households with adults that have a firearm present in their house. Firearms add a extra level of caution before approaching an armed individual for police officers. And while many good citizens do wield guns to protect themselves and their loved ones, there are also criminals that carry guns to commit crime and to kill whoever get in their way. Now, law enforcement officers are required to interact with these individuals without knowing if an individual is a friend or a foe. 91% of on-duty law enforcement officers' deaths were caused by a firearm. Across the United States, about 380,000 firearms are stolen annually. Stolen firearms have been found to be used in crimes and serve as a threat to law enforcement officers. Now, these firearms are the greatest risk factors for law enforcement. In some states, when an officer runs your information, the officer can usually see if they carry a permit for guns. Due to the nature of stolen firearms, these guns are especially dangerous as they are untraceable and undetectable until the criminal decides to use them. Right, shown in this picture from the New York Post is a table full of firearms. Now, these firearms are not cheap. I can tell you from the pictures, this is well above $50,000 worth of firearms that they found. Alright, criminal methodology. Using data from the Law Enforcement Officers Killed and Assaulted program, it was determined that police officers are targeted for ambushes solely because they are police officers or law enforcement officers. Further information showed ambush rates spiked higher during 2016 and 2018 after the targeted killing of 3 officers using ambush methods. The other common reason for officer fatalities are traffic stops. Traffic stops and ambushes are similar because they both share similar dangerous traits. In a traffic stop, the officer will not know what the occupants of the car are doing until they really get close to them to see. As mentioned previously, about 91% of officers killed are due to firearms. In ambushes or traffic stops, it is usually with a firearm as well. Now, I do have a video to show, but it does contain graphic violence. There is no blood. However, it does depict a man that shoots an officer out of the blue.
Come on! Come on! You're sucking all our blood. Come on, bro. Come on.
Who's all in the house?
Huh?
Who's all in the house?
It's me.
Who's you?
Alright, well, we don't really need to see much more of that. Now, it's truly unfortunate that the officer had to go through this, but it depicts a perfect example of an ambush. Unfortunately, this is what police officers sometimes have to go through. I mean, I bet most of the times it won't be anything serious, and this is probably just a extreme example, but this is what happens. They just get ambushed, and although they think they're responding to a cry for help, that's not always the case, and that's why it is so dangerous for police officers sometimes, no matter what situation they're responding to. Oops. How do I next? Alright, there we go. The third reason is departmental issues. Now, police departments without a structure to properly assess and solve scenarios are likely to have a high reporting of their officers becoming assaulted and victimized. Determined police departments with a proper structure and the ability to deal with a variety of different calls is a good way to deal with risky scenarios. by having the proper solutions. For example, a department that had a specialized unit were less likely to report violence directed to its police officers. This is because having officers trained in responding to special cases create a safer environment for both the citizens and the officers. Now, shown in this picture, we have two different examples of specialized units. The top two pictures are usually from the SWAT team. Shown in these pictures are obviously from Fairfax County Police Department because they represent, well, Mason in a sense, and the community around us. Okay, so the top left picture would be the SWAT team van. They usually respond to high violence scenarios, usually with firearms, and obviously normal police officers will respond to firearms as well, but having a specialized unit that is trained, that has the equipment and the knowledge on what they should, how they will approach these scenarios is much smarter than having your regular beat cop responding to high violence situation. The top right picture, I believe that's the rookie. It's like a bulletproof vehicle that is able to just bust through walls so that there are more options that the SWAT team or police officers will be able to use to respond to violent scenarios. The bottom two pictures would be the Animal Protection Police from the Fairfax County. Obviously, when responding to a scenario that involves animals, you would want people that are knowledgeable with animals so that you don't just send a random person just that has police training to respond to animals, obviously because animals respond differently to humans. They'll react differently. And as you can see in the bottom right, she has gloves on, which I wouldn't have thought of doing if I were a police officer. Now, it is important to note that Fairfax County Police Department is a lot better off than most departments. Most departments that don't have high enough budget will probably not even have the SWAT team or Animal Protection Police team, and they'll probably just send their regular police officers to deal with either scenario. Alright, for a conclusion. Homicide rates positively correlate with officer deaths. As more people wish to hurt others, law enforcement officers will respond to these dangerous situations to protect the citizens. Unfortunately, as the amount of active dangerous situations arise, it's only natural for police officers to get hurt and possibly killed in the process. As examined in firearm prevalence in our society, methods criminals use, and department structure and policies, we can see how this can correlate to officer homicide rates. Alright, so my references. Thank you for watching. I hope that I was able to inform you guys at least a little bit about the dangers of law enforcement. It's not always pretty, and I know officers mess up sometimes, but I thought it would be a great thing to show you guys the at least a little bit about what police officers fear and what they have to go through sometimes. Anyways, have a good day. Bye bye.